The Honourable Third Member for Vieux-Grand-Pauvre and Roosevelt.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. PQB 844, please.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am informed by the National Land Transport Authority that 969 taxis are licensed to operate from 13 different localities between Ferney and De Frère. 13 public service vehicle taxi licenses have also been licensed to operate in the nearby village of Quatre Sœurs. 90% of these, I am informed that 90% of these taxis operate between De Frère and Meheberg at separate fares, meaning taxi train, and supplement existing bus services, which is in line, which is authorized under Section 103(4) of the Road Traffic Act. I am further informed that there has neither been any formal complaint lodged at the level of the NLTA from the inhabitants in regard to transport problem, nor has there been any additional request for public service taxi licenses at this stage in time.
Yes,
In view of the poor service provided to those inhabitants, would the Honourable Minister consider the possibility, the advisability of having a survey carried out by the NLTA to determine how many of these PSV service license holders are actually operating?
Yes, yes, the Deputy Speaker, sir, the NLTA is mandated to do such exercise. We can do it.
And would the Honourable Minister also consider the possibility of calling an expression of interest for the issue, for the eventual issue of additional PSV license?
If the survey warrants more taxis to be operated in the region, we will certainly do that.
The Honourable Fourth Member for Port North and Rhode Island.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. PQB 846.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm informed by the Mauritius Qualifications Authority that a Malian delegation visited the MQA from 25th to 29th August 2025. My ministry was informed about the said visit on 22nd August 2025. However, officials from my ministry asked the MQA to seek the prior approval of its board first and to submit such request well in advance in order to allow timely procession for approval. My ministry did this with a view to ensure that there was due diligence, as clearance from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also had to be sought as well. I wish to inform the House that no formal approval was given, neither by my ministry nor by the board of the MQA prior to the visit of the delegation from Mali. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as for part A of the question, I wish to inform the House that the purpose of the visit of the delegation from Mali was a study tour on matters pertaining to certification and implementation of the Mauritian National Qualifications Framework, recognition to prior learning, and qualifications development in the Tibet sector. As for part B of the question, I wish to inform the House that no formal agreement and no memorandum of understanding was signed. I am told that the visit was purely exploratory and merely for sharing of experience. It did not entail any binding commitments on the part of the MQA. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, it's in fact very serious that the director of the MQA took it upon himself without consulting neither the ministry nor the board nor the Ministry of Foreign Affairs before allowing a delegation from Mali de Puzé, where there was recently a coup d'etat, to come. Therefore, and I understand that the board also has taken this view.
Let's have your question.
That was a statement of fact. He said that the director of the MQA had taken upon himself. He had asked whether that was the case.
The minister never mentioned that the director took it upon.
Question being,
So what's the question?
the issue being a serious one, and the board having required explanation from the director, who has still not given it, has the minister since And in fact, in view that no explanation had been given, what is the minister going to do about this?
What action the minister will take now?
I will definitely leave it to the board to, because there was a request by the board for a written explanation regarding same, and I'm awaiting the report from the board, and the board will take whatever action has to be taken.
Question.
Yes. Will the Honourable Minister, once the board takes its decision, will the Honourable Minister make that information available to the House as to the outcome of this matter, which is very serious because they have bypassed proper procedure and bypassed the Minister himself?
We believe in transparency, and needful will be done.
The Honourable Civil Member for Belrose-Cadbon.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Vice-président. B847.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, Jawaharlal Nehru Road, ex-route Bassin at Katabon, stretches over 3.9 kilometers and falls under the jurisdiction of the Road Development Authority. I'm informed by the RDA that Jawaharlal Nehru Road may be divided into two sections as follows. Section 1 from La Louise, Katabon taxi stand to the roundabout along Phoenix Beauchamps Road B130, stretching over 2.6 kilometers, and Section 2 from roundabout along Phoenix Beauchamps Road up to La Vigie, La Brasserie, Beauchamps Link Road, Phase 2, over a stretch of 1.3 kilometers. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regards Section 1 of Jawaharlal Nehru Road, I'm informed by the RDA that as part of its program of work for road maintenance and minor works for financial year 2025-2026, it has included localized resurfacing works along that stretch where severe subsidence has been noted. I'm further informed that for the time being, only localized road repair work is envisaged because the National Development Unit has future drain projects thereon as part of its land drainage master plan for flood mitigation measures for the region of Candace and La Louise. In order to mitigate hazards to road users thereat, the RDA has issued works orders for the localized resurfacing works along Jawaharlal Nehru Road under its framework agreement contract. The works order has been awarded to Gamma Construction Limited for the contract sum of 2,513,160.07, and resurfacing works are scheduled to start by end of this month and are expected to end in mid-November. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, with regard to Section 2 of Jawaharlal Nehru Road, I'm informed by the RDA land will have to be acquired to widen the road to 7 meters with 1.5 meter shoulder footpath and drains on both sides of the road. Currently, the width of the road varies from 3.5 to 5 meters. The land acquisition process has been initiated and is currently ongoing. Moreover, the upgrading work along this section requires the reconstruction of 3 bridges and 2 box culverts. The cost estimate for the works is 125 million rupees, and same will be implemented subject to funds being made available and completing the acquisition of the land required for the project.
Yes.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Vice-président, et au nom des habitants de Bassin, je tiens à remercier le ministre pour sa réponse. Would the minister inform the House whether temporary measures will be put in place to ensure the safety of motorists and pedestrians while awaiting for resurfacing?
Obviously, we'll take all measures. The RDA, I'll pass over the message to the RDA to take all measures, all necessary measures. But in the meantime, this month, the contract work will start.
The Honourable Fourth Member for Portwich North and Moat Island.
848.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, private health institutions in Mauritius are presently governed by Private Health Institutions Act 1989, which sets out the basic requirements for licensing and compliance with health and safety standards. However, the Act doesn't empower my ministry to regulate the course of treatment and services being provided by the private operators. I wish to inform the House that my ministry is currently working on a new private health institutions bill with the technical support of a consultant made available by European Union. The proposed draft bill and its accompanying regulations will modernize the legislation by introducing new provisions on transparency and accountability. Mr. Deputy Speaker, regarding the course of treatment and services in private sector is a complex matter which requires careful balancing of patient rights, professional autonomy, and investment incentives. The way forward will therefore depend on the outcome of wide consultation that my ministry will hold with all stakeholders, including patients associations, healthcare professionals, private operators, as well as insurance companies. This government is committed to ensure that our citizens refrain from having recourse to the private clinics. That is why it is our policy to continually upgrade and improve our public hospitals by setting up specialized units with cutting-edge technology, enhancing capacity of our staff through continuous training and upgrading infrastructure, and providing state-of-the-art equipment. We are also expanding our agreements with overseas hospitals so that Mauritian patients may have access to specialized treatment abroad whenever required free of charge. In the same breath, the number of visiting consultants and specialists in our public hospitals has been extended so that more complex cases are treated within our hospitals. It is also the policy of my ministry to encourage renowned foreign private hospitals to establish themselves in Mauritius with a view to increase competition, thus resulting in lowering the cost of treatment in clinics. I am also informed that health insurance companies play a significant role by ensuring that charges remain within reasonable limits. Let me remind the House that over the last decade, the policy was clearly to weaken our public hospitals through understaffing, insufficient training, and schemes such as zero-interest loans to push patients towards the private treatment. The result has been an erosion of trust in the public sector and greater dependency on costly private care. This government has taken a different course. Our objective is to rebuild confidence in the public health system, expand access to quality care free of charge, and ensure that patients who turn to the private sector do so out of choice and not out of necessity. The forthcoming private health institutions bill will be a milestone in this process. I must emphasize that the question of regulating prices in the private sector remain open, and the decision will be taken after consultation with stakeholders.
May I ask the Honourable Minister, without expressing any views on the public health institution services right now, the fact is thousands of Mauritians go to private clinics. I'm coming to it. Prices have increased since you have taken office, for example, by 18% in terms of doctors' fees, and clinical fees, infrastructure fees, around 15%.
Honourable Minister just mentioned that the Act as it is doesn't
the
allow
last year.
to regulate
Therefore,
the fees.
does the Minister not see it as in the public interest as an urgent measure to curb the inflation of private healthcare prices, which is unchecked at the moment?
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, all of us know if you're going to impose conditions, you're going to fix up, let us say, the fees, that will be a deterrent for those institutions to invest. And health is a sector where billions of rupees are required. So instead of doing that, the first concern of our government is to improve the quality of service in our hospitals, which had completely gone down for the last 10 years. Let us try to upgrade it and convince our people to come towards our hospitals. I have got hundreds of cases where they go to the private clinic, and once money is exhausted, they will turn towards our hospitals. And we have got the best type of care in our hospitals, and my duty is to improve that, but I cannot compel the private clinics to bring down the price. If you're going to impose it, no new entrants will be there. And unfortunately, nothing new can be done. That is the reason why we believe that imposition of price. I had been Minister of Commerce for about 4 or 5 years. I remember thousands of articles at that time were under control, under the price control. Unfortunately, that led to much problems because no newcomers will come, the price will stay the same, and no new investment will be there. That is the reason why we don't believe too much on price control.
Last question.
Yes, Mr. Deputy Speaker, well, public perception in public service is something else. But I'm quite surprised that the Minister does not see it necessary to at least curb the huge increases. Let me just tell the Minister
put your question.
whether the Minister is aware that insurance costs, whether it is health insurance or the indirect effect on car insurance, insurance for public transportation, all of these are following that pattern because of the huge unchecked costs of private health institutions. I will ask again, will the Minister not at least appoint a team to at least see the options without having to go and regulate, but at least to go into proposals on how we are going to control these prices?
Mr. Deputy Speaker, so I can advise, I can encourage, and the best that I can do, legally I don't have the right. The best I can do, we are bound to improve the conditions of service in the perception we have to do we visit. That was the perception of the previous government, not ours. We are trying to improve as much as we can.
Yes, one last question, Dr.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. I agree that it is not the purview of the Ministry of Health to regulate prices of private health institutions. It might fall under the Ministry of Commerce, but I appreciate your answer. And is the Ministry planning to negotiate with foreign Indian hospitals so that at least they can bring down the cost to local prices for the Mauritians going abroad?
This is exactly what we are doing. The House will be aware that over a dozen of new hospitals, international hospitals are coming towards Mauritius, and we are having a series of memorandum of understanding with them, and they are also sending us experts time and again. I can announce now in the days to come, we'll be having about 4 top specialists coming to Mauritius from Chennai in order to help us in our hospitals.
Okay. The Honourable First Member for Motai Blanche.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Sir, B849.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm informed by the Mauritius Sport Council that there is one sports facility in concession number 10 that falls under its purview, namely the multi-use game area, Muga, located at Caroline. The facility accommodates various activities such as mini soccer, pétanque, Zumba, session, recreational activities for children and senior citizens, open-air gym, training and walking or jogging along its dedicated track. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the House may also wish to note that my ministry has a youth hub which houses a sport hall in Montagne Blanche. The hub, which was revamped, provides the following activities: taekwondo, table tennis, badminton, dance, indoor games, Scrabble, carom, and guitar courses. Moreover, Mr. Deputy Speaker, my ministry also dispenses the following training in secondary schools and MITD centers of that region: family life education, national youth civic service, and jeune enterprises.
Yes. The Honourable Member for Grand Bay, Poutodo.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Sir, B850.
Thank you. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I wish to inform the House that the enforcement unit of the Solid Waste Management Division of my ministry consists of 14 officers who are involved only in the supervision of the dismantling of the housing units containing cemented asbestos sheets, the removal and disposal process. Site visits are effected prior to dismantling to assess quantity and state of asbestos sheets and supervise the dismantling process till carting away to the landfill. With regard to training, from 21 to 25th November 2022, officers of the enforcement unit of the division have received training on house warper site operations, which was conducted by Polyeco Limited, a Greek company, which has extensive experience in management of hazardous waste. Moreover, one officer was trained on HAZMA, specialized equipment, in August 2025, conducted by a consultant of the National Disaster Risk Reduction
Management Centre. Mr. Deputy Speaker, with regard to Part A of the question, the technical enforcement officers who carry out visual inspections of dismantling of the housing units containing cemented asbestos sheets have been provided with personal protective equipment, comprising, amongst others, disposable coverall, dust masks and safety boots. Mr. Deputy Speaker, concerning Part B of the question, the number of visits effected by the division from 2024 to date is 35. Mr. Deputy Speaker, asbestos houses are being dismantled by contractors, which are hired by the ministry, and there is a constant follow-up of works which are being done by contractors, especially with regards to protective equipment.
Yes, Mr. Pivat.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, sir. Will the Honourable Minister inform the House what further training will be provided or any other ongoing health surveillance program is put in place for the officers potentially exposed to asbestos fibers in course of their duties? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, there is a planned program which is in shape and will be soon be implemented, not only by my ministry, but the Ministry of Labour and the Safety Division also.
The Honourable Second Member for Rivière des Anguilles, Speaker.
Question B851, please.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, following further to concerns raised by the Honourable Member during the sitting of the House of 10 December 2024 regarding bus services in constituency number 13, the NLTA was tasked to assess the prevailing situation and to come up with appropriate remedial measures. I am informed by the NLTA that a meeting was held with the NTC and individual operators concerned on 6 March 2025. The bus operators were instructed to improve the level of bus services in those regions, and according to the NLTA, improvements have been noted along most of those routes. Several checks subsequently carried out on the operation of buses at Souliac, Kandiab and L'Escalier in the month of June and July 2025. Coming to the substantive question, I am informed by the NTC that the NTC served the following 8 routes. I'm not going to list all of them, but it's route number 6A, 7. The description is in there. If you can, if you want, I can give it to you.
Yes, you can.
34, 61, 61A, 67, 79, 143, and 197. Route 10, which extends over 40 kilometers, also plies through Rivière des Galets to Meheberg via Souillac, Kandiab and L'Escalier, and is served by 35 individual operators at an interval of 15 minutes at peak hours. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am informed by the NTC that repeated complaints, especially with regards to unavailability of buses along the above routes, are being received. For the period of July 2025 to September 2025, a total of 50 complaints has been received specifically on account of irregular bus services, which is attributable to frequent breakdown of Yutong and Nissan buses deployed on those routes. I am further made to understand that the NTC is encountering difficulties to procure spare parts in view of the need to abide by Directive 47 of the Procurement Policy Office with regard to mandatory use of e-procurement system. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I personally met Her Excellency, the Chinese ambassador, during courtesy call recently. That was on 3rd September 2025, and I have requested her to facilitate the commercialization of spare parts of Yutong buses locally. And I'm given to understand that the embassy is exploring the possibility of having an MOU between Yutong company and NTC. That should theoretically resolve the problem. In fact, the NTC redeployed one additional bus.
The answer is long, Honourable Minister. You can find it. Because the question is simple. What action are you taking?
Yeah, that is, just to complete and to say, yes, because since it's constituency number 13, a massive amount of 24.6 million rupees has been injected by the TRMSU for constitution of a traffic center at Rivière des Anguilles. The traffic center will be operational this week and is expected to enhance the bus transport services in constituency number 13.
Yes, Honourable Member.
Relating to the incidents regarding fire, that some vessels took fire, I would like to ask the Minister whether the fire prevention mechanism system were in place. If not, whether an inquiry will be undertaken.
Yes, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. In fact, yes, there was an issue. I am privy to information, which I can give to the Honourable Member since he's interested in the question. The former General Manager of the NTC was given a quotation on 29th January 2020 to change it's called fire bombs from what I'm reading here. It's fire bombs. It's supposed to explode when there's fire and watch the fire. But same were not changed. That was 4 years ago. So we have an issue. And the new General Manager, when he assumed office in July 2025, he immediately asked for quotation. And I'm given to understand that same will be replaced, and I've asked him to do so expeditiously, and I'm told it's going to cost 2.44 million rupees. So as regards whether an inquiry will have to be conducted, I can ask the board of the NNTC to look into this issue.
The Honourable Third Member for Rivière-des-Argues.
B852.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, first of all, I would like to clarify that the incident to which the Honourable Member is referring to occurred on 21st April 2025 and not 21st February 2025. Secondly, I wish to emphasize that bridges and footbridges are constructed throughout the island on both classified and non-classified roads. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regards classified roads, that is motorways and A and B roads, these fall under the responsibility of the Road Development Authority, which, the Highway Authority, is responsible for the construction, care, maintenance, and improvement of these roads and related structures. The RDA maintains an inventory of all classified roads and associated structures, including vehicular and pedestrian bridges and culverts, which form an essential part of the national road network. In order to preserve these assets and ensure their structural safety, the bridge management system was set up in 2012. The BMS serves as a comprehensive audit mechanism which enables the RDA to maintain a detailed database of bridges, record structural defects, and formulate a priority list of maintenance and rehabilitation works based on condition indices. Since the establishment of the BMS, 21 bridges have been rehabilitated or reconstructed on a priority basis. The RDA has recently reassessed the condition of bridges on classified roads island-wide and updated the inventory accordingly. A list of bridges requiring intervention has been prepared, and implementation will be carried out gradually over the coming financial years, given the significant investment involved. At present, the construction of 3 bridges, namely Grand Sable, Beauchamp, and Ramdin au Coulet, is ongoing and expected to be completed within this financial year. In addition, contracts for the John Kennedy Bridge at Vakwa and the Royal Bridge at Port Louis near Hotel Pakistan have been awarded, and works will commence shortly, while bidding documents for the Haute-Rive Bridge and Rivière du Rempart have already been launched. With regard to footbridges, there are presently 20 located along classified roads. In recent years, the RDA has undertaken the construction or rehabilitation of 6 of these, and a further 3 footbridges, Mapu, Pamplemousses, and Calbas, along the M2 are being rehabilitated in the 2025-2026 financial year as part of the RDA's ongoing program. All these works are carried out with a focus on safe passage for road users and the long-term integrity of our road network. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regards non-classified roads, which fall under the responsibility of local authorities, I am informed that following the trunk bar incident, no comprehensive island-wide structural audit has been carried out for bridges and footbridges under their purview. This is mainly due to a lack of in-house technical expertise, such as structural engineers, and the absence of dedicated funds, which limit their ability to conduct detailed assessments. Local authorities across the island have varying capacities to manage their bridges and footbridges. Some, such as those in Vakwa Phoenix and Caterborn, rely mainly on visual inspections and require external expertise for comprehensive structural assessments. In QPIP, most bridges are reported as structurally sound, although a few require urgent repairs, while enlargement works are being undertaken by the National Development Unit. In Savane, the Pont Rouge footbridge has been found to be severely damaged, whereas other bridges have already been repaired. In Moka, major reconstruction works have been completed, while in Rivière du Rempart and Grand Port, attention is being given to minor repairs, with major works requiring external support. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, my ministry will provide technical guidance and collaboration as and when requested to support local authorities in maintaining bridges and footbridges falling under their purview.
Has the ministry received any complaints in relation to the current state of our bridges and footbridges?
As far as I can see, I have not received any formal complaint, even by the local authorities yet.
Yes, Honorable.
I will ask the Minister if he has got any complaints in regards to Tamarind Bridge, which started yielding
We don't have any complaints.
at the start, and as a matter of urgency, it's the only way to go to the west. If we can have a look as a matter of urgency.
Among the 21 bridges which have been rehabilitated and reconstructed on a priority basis, I can see Tamarind Bridge is in the list.
Honorable third member Honorable third member
Yes, thank you. Thank you. B853.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I wish to refer the House to my reply to the PNQ of the 6th of May 2025. The House will recall that I referred to the situation that prevailed in that reply on Île Bénitier. That islet had witnessed an increase in unregulated commercial activities, including informal food and beverage operations, unauthorized recreational setups, and erection of structures that are inconsistent with land use and environmental planning principles. These activities have raised concerns regarding sanitation, waste management, environmental degradation, negative effect on biodiversity and the ecosystem, as well as the preservation of public access and cultural value. Ever since then, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, there have been several meetings under the chairmanship of the Deputy Prime Minister. And I must state that the work was not only about Île Bénitier, but also started work about other islets around Mauritius. As regards the work that has already been initiated on Île Bénitier as a pilot case, in order to regulate existing trade and tourism activities while ensuring the protection of the island's fragile ecosystem, we have delimited a temporary recreational zone to accommodate barbecue operators and handicraft sellers. At the same time, a comprehensive master plan has been elaborated in consultation with all the relevant authorities with a view to establishing a permanent recreational zone that balances economic activities with the preservation of biodiversity. So we're going for Île Bénitier approximately on 2/3 for conservation and 1/3 for the rest. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, a sum of 8 million rupees has been provided in the financial year 2025-2026 for the cleaning of islands. Along this line, consideration is being given for the management strategy used for Île Bénitier to be replicated to other islets around Mauritius. It has been planned, as recommended and suggested by the Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, that we would, after Île Bénitier, also going to visit some of the islets around Mauritius, and we will be starting with some in the north. And the issue, therefore, is to promote a balanced approach that encourages responsible tourism and economic opportunities, while preserving the natural heritage of our coastal and marine assets. So in this perspective, I'd like to thank all those who have collaborated in this effort, all relevant stakeholders, obviously starting with the Deputy Prime Minister, and also the Minister of Environment, Minister of Agro-Industry, and their respective ministries, and the Ministry of Tourism and Ministry of Local Government as well, and all the other local authorities that have been very helpful in the process. I must, however, add that at this juncture, we are reflecting, in line with what your question is, on which will be the authority eventually that will be responsible for the management of all the islets. Will it be under the Beach Authority, as we had discussed, or will it be under a dedicated authority under the Ministry of Environment, with all les acteurs concernés? But there needs to be an effort, and a dedicated effort, in order to ensure that whatever we've started at Île-aux-Bénitiers, under the chairmanship of the meeting with the Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, that we continue it vis-à-vis other islands.
Yes, you have a supplement?
And is there any proposed timeline for completion of the works on all our islets?
Well, in actual fact, I look at the documents that have been given to me and the number of islets that exist around Mauritius, and there are indeed quite a few. And if I to look at it, there are, from memory, approximately 52. And out of the 52, there are 2 of them that are privately owned. So we're concerned with about 50 of them. So going to all of them will take the time that it takes. And obviously at this juncture, we rely on the generosity and collaboration of the National Coast Guard to take all officers there. We don't have dedicated vessels to take us to each and every island. So that is why, far from trying to put a timeline on the whole process, what is important here is results. And it will take the time that it takes, because at the end of the day, we have to give results. And within this mandate, we hope that we will have replicated the excellent work that has been done for Île-aux-Bénitiers on other islets, with the collaboration of all my friends in Cabinet and members of Parliament, who are also very helpful in connecting us with the people and those who are operating on those islands.
The Honourable First Member for Bobby-Doon.
Merci, Monsieur le Vice-président. Question 854. Merci.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'd like to thank the Honourable Member for her question. I am informed that there are some 41 squatters in the area commonly known as Singamani village over state land at Bois Marchand, out of whom 23 are pre-July 2015 and 18 are post-July 2015. Now, the reason why very often we refer in the jargon of the Ministry of Housing and Land to the pre or post-July 2015 is basically there are 2 treatments that are afforded to those who are pre and those who are post. It's a question of policy that was decided at the level of the ministry. As their settlement is either on the Réserve of Rivière des Calbasses or located close to a sewage treatment plant thereat, it is unfortunate because of those realities on the ground. We cannot consider regularizing them in situ, as I explained, the reason for that. However, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to reassure the House that my ministry is actively looking into various other possibilities to address this situation. I had stated in my reply to PQB 754, my ministry in this regard is also working upon recommendations for regularizing the post-2015 squatters, because the previous government had decided not to regularize the post-2015 squatters. I think we have to take into consideration, and I take advantage of this particular question to give that information. You see, ever since I came into office, I decided to request the officers of the ministry to carry out a survey island-wide to know what is the real problem of squatters around Mauritius. We've managed to carry out a survey on all state land. Obviously, there are also squatters on private land. But as far as the residential and non-residential squatters per district, in the district of Port Louis, there are 306 squatters. In the district of Pamplemousse, there are 80. In the district of Rivière-du-Rempart, there are 52. In the district of Flac, there are 89. In the district of Grand Port, there are 35. In the district of Savane, there are 5. I say again, that does not include the squatters on private land. So to that 700 or so figures, because the total is in fact 750 on state land, I would have thought that we are close to the figure of almost more than 1,000 or slightly more than 1,000. So yes, there is the need to address the issue, and we are doing that, of all squatters. But I have to also, as I have said in the previous reply, ensure that in the process we do not go for a policy decision that encourages squatting. Squatting cannot be an easy way to obtain facilities from government and homes. We should try to bring them within the mainstream, which is register, obtain a proper registration, and bring in the effort to get them a place and a roof over their heads. But I must say that ever since July 2015 and to date, the figures of squatters have increased tremendously. And that is because the previous government did nothing to address the problem of squatters. And we will.
Yes, one question.
Thank you, Mr. the Deputy Speaker. Thank you to the Honourable Minister for his answer. Can the Honourable Minister inform the House whether his ministry is taking actions to assist the squatters and if there is any plan for them to live a better life? Thank you.
See, once again, I thank the Honourable Member for a question. Is there a plan for them to live a better life? It cannot simply be a plan. It has to be a reality. And in order to do so, what I propose with regards to the particular issue that you have brought up here in the National Assembly, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I propose, and I've already said this to the Honourable Member, I propose to organize a meeting in situ, but after we have had a proper survey of the area in order to identify ways and means of finding this solution and give them a better life with a roof over their heads. And that does not only apply to the particular situation in that locality. It applies to every single place where there are squatters. Many issues have been brought to my attention. Members of Parliament from constituency number 14, one of them, who just spoke to me many times ever since the last general elections. So yes, we are confronted with the increased number of squatters. I do not believe that we should make a differentiation between post-July 2015 or pre-July 2015. I believe that we have to accept that we have financial constraints and we have also the difficulty of finding proper land to accommodate those squatters. I can only also add that the Honourable Deputy Prime Minister himself has brought to my attention the situation of unfortunate squatters on land commonly known as Garedas in the Black River district. And we are trying to find, under his chairmanship as well, other solutions and quickly to be able to put them in a better environment and for them to have a roof over their heads that they can call home. So we are concerned, we are conscious, and we will find the solutions.
The Honourable Third Member for Bobassa,
B855.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, in response to the shortage of nursing staff and medical practitioners in public hospitals and health institutions, my ministry has put in place a number of short-term, medium-term and long-term measures to ensure that healthcare services continue to run smoothly and effectively. With regard to nursing staff, several actions have already been taken. On 23rd August 2025, 36 nurses were recruited on sessional basis These nurses are actively working and helping to support the health system. In addition, a public advertisement was issued on 27 September 2025 to hire 90 more sessional nurses. With a view to building a stronger supply of future nurses, 300 trainee nurses have already been enlisted in the financial year 25-26 as of 22nd September 2025. As part of our sustained efforts, my ministry further plans to enlist 500 additional trainee nurses in the financial year 26-27 and another 200 trainee nurses in the financial year 27-28. This will help ensure a steady supply of trained nurses in the years to come. As regards medical practitioners, it is to be highlighted that there are presently 120 doctors who proceeded on study leave without pay for postgraduate specialization. My ministry encourages specialization in scarcity fields, thereby providing the opportunity for doctors to upgrade their skills and expertise in the medical field, which will eventually benefit our healthcare services. To this end, to palliate for the lack of doctors, my ministry has, on the 3rd September 2025, recruited 25 medical and health officers, senior medical and health officers on a yearly contractual basis. My ministry has also re-advertised for the recruitment of an additional 30 more medical and health officers, senior medical and health officers on a contractual basis. These doctors will help fill the gap in staffing and reducing the pressure on the current workforce. As a medium-term measure, my ministry has requested the Public Service Commission to recruit 111 additional medical and health officers, senior medical and health officers. In this respect, I am informed that interviews are presently ongoing at the level of PSC. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to further inform the House that for both medical and nursing staff, my ministry is working on a long-term plan. A manpower assessment in collaboration with United Nations Development Programme is currently being carried out. This study will help the ministry to understand how many doctors and nurses will be needed in future, with a view to ensuring effective and efficient planning of human resources in our healthcare system. In addition, my ministry is further reviewing the functioning of all our public health institutions. This includes a current shift system of medical and health officers, senior medical and health officers in the hospitals, and the opening hours of medical clinics, area health centers, and community health centers. The aim is to improve human resource management and to make services more efficient and accessible to the public at large. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, together these measures demonstrate my ministry's strong commitment to improving staffing levels in the public healthcare system, ensuring that patients continue to receive safe and quality health care.
Yes.
Monsieur le Vice-président, le ministre peut-il indiquer à la Chambre s'il existe une disposition permettant d'envisager le recrutement sous contrat de médecins, d'infirmiers retraités et du secteur public comme du secteur privé ayant dépassé la limite d'âge, bien sûr s'ils sont jugés aptes à travailler.
Yes, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, in exceptional cases, when the scarcity was felt, then we had recourse to the recruitment of doctors as well as nurses, but it was below 70 years. We were bound to do it because there was a big shortage and the previous government had done nothing in that field.
Okay. Honorable First Member for Port-Victor.
Merci, Monsieur le Vice-président. Question B856. Merci.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, following posts on social media and articles published in the press, a group of students of the Open University of Mauritius had lodged complaints against a lecturer. According to the students, the allegations were serious. First, the use of irrelevant and inappropriate comments during a lecture held on 22nd February 2025 from around 10:30 to 12:30 hours. And second, racism and communal bias in the grading of examinations. I'm informed that the Open University of Mauritius immediately established an internal committee to inquire into these allegations. A preliminary report has been submitted to my ministry. The committee reviewed the nearly 1 hour, 47 minutes long lecture recording saved on the learning management system, as well as the entire marking process. The committee has identified potentially compromising elements and has therefore recommended that a thorough investigation be carried out.
I'm further informed that an independent, full-fledged committee will now be established after legal advice is obtained. My ministry will exercise direct oversight throughout this process. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, such behavior, if proven, violates Section 16 of our Constitution, guaranteeing equality and protection from discrimination. The Open University of Mauritius Act requiring academic integrity. Any conduct undermining equality contradicts the foundational principles upon which our republic is built. Let me be absolutely clear on 3 points. First, there will be no cover-up. Every allegation will be investigated thoroughly and transparently. The findings will be made available to this House. No one will be shielded. No misconduct will be swept under the carpet. The truth will be established. Second, justice will be served without hesitation. If the allegations are substantiated, appropriate action will be taken, including suspension or termination where warranted. No qualification, no tenure, no position will protect anyone found to have engaged in racism, discrimination, or harassment. Third, this government adopts zero tolerance. Any recurrence of such misconduct at any tertiary education institution will be dealt with firmly and decisively. We will not allow any act to ignite division, undermine our constitutional values, or compromise our education system's integrity. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to reassure the member, the honourable member, the students and parents. No student will suffer academically as a result of these complaints or the investigation. The university has already taken measures to ensure this. The university, alternative arrangements have been made to ensure that the students, right, have fair assessment, support services, and protection from retaliation, if ever there is any. All necessary actions will be taken to preserve academic integrity, ensure justice, and maintain public confidence. Beyond this specific case, my ministry will strengthen complaint mechanisms across all tertiary education institutions, enhance professional standards, mandatory training on cultural sensitivity and anti-discrimination, improve student welfare system, and ensure robust oversight to prevent such incidents. Our students deserve learning environments free from discrimination, fair assessment, based solely on merit, respect, and dignity in all interactions, and equal treatment regardless of race, religion, or any other characteristic. The investigation will be independent, impartial, and legally compliant, urgent, and transparent. I will update this House upon its completion. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Third Member for Public Procedure.
Mr. Speaker, sir, B858.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, there are 4 routes being questioned here in a busy conurbation. So the reply that have been provided to me is 6 pages long.
Yeah, please circulate.
I'm going to circulate it, but I shall.
Yeah, briefly you go through
a few points.
The main points, and we'll circulate.
I took note of the Facebook page of the member on 31st August 2025, and NLTA was requested immediately to conduct an inquiry. There are cases where several operators are not providing adequate service. This is for sure, as you can more fully read in the reply. I have to stress the fact that the attention of the disciplinary committee, chaired by Barrister Arti Prayak, will be done, and the consequence of this is revocation of licenses can understandably be envisaged if so required. All right. And as a last note, Deputy Speaker said last Friday, Cabinet took note of my ministry giving instruction to the Attorney General's office to draft the bus services bill, and this will make the provision for the use of technology to better enable the NLTA to monitor services. So such problem will be resolved given time.
Yes, one question.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm grateful if the Minister could inform the House when could the inhabitants of Bejutombo and Calva start seeing improvement in the situation?
Like I said, the Achilles heel of the NLTA right now is it doesn't have enough supervising staff on the field. So once we have technology, like I said before, the fleet management system and all, from the office they can monitor whether the buses are not compliant with their agreed timetables, on which they are being paid for, actually. So please bear with us for some time. My officers tell me that the tender for the fleet management system can be floated for the consultancy and for the contractor on the 15th of October. So take some time more.
The Honourable Second Member for Vieux-Grand-Port, Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Sir, is question B859, please.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I would like to refer the Honourable Member to the replies I made to PQB 223 on 25th March 2025 and to PQB 616 on 8 July 2025, wherein I informed the House that the B28 road had been severely damaged further to the pipe-laying works being carried out by the Central Water Authority. I also informed the House that the 13.1 kilometer pipeline renewal project was divided into two phases. Phase 1 from Anse-Joncé to Bambou-Veilleux to Petit-Sable, covering a distance of 6.4 kilometers, and Phase 2 from Ferney to Anse-Joncé, covering a distance of 6.7 kilometers. The scope of the works include the replacement of all ductile iron and reinstatement works, with the CWA carries in two stages, namely temporary reinstatement undertaken by the contractor carrying out the pipe-laying works, which consist of backfilling and applying a 30mm layer of asphaltic concrete along the trenches, and second, permanent reinstatement to be undertaken by a separate Grade A contractor following a bidding exercise. This involves asphalting the damaged road to a thickness of 50mm. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am now informed by the Ministry of Energy and Public Utilities that CWA has completed the renewal of the distribution network in August 2025, and a separate contract for the permanent road reinstatement works has been prepared for both phases. The bidding exercise was launched on 15 July 2025, and the CWA board approved the award of the contract on 2nd October 2025 to Transinvest Construction Limited. The estimated cost for the permanent road reinstatement works from Ferney to Petit-Sable, which includes the stretch from Vieux-Grand-Port to Bambou-Veilleux, is to the tune of 82 million, which has been catered under the current financial year. The tentative start of work is scheduled for the first week of November 2025, with completion expected by February 2026. As regards the stretch of road from Grand Sable to De Frères, I am informed by the RDA that pipe-laying work is yet to be started. As such, the RDA is undertaking patching works thereat. I am further informed that the RDA has not yet issued the way leave for the excavation works along this stretch, and same will be issued only after completion of the resurfacing works from Ferney to Petit-Sable. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to highlight that the RDA has raised concerns over the CWA's failure to comply with the conditions of way leave, namely at l'Escalier, Chemin-Grenier, Saint-Julien-d'Hautemont, and Hermitage, where no proper temporary reinstatement works was carried out despite several notices sent. According to the RDA, the practice of awarding separate contracts for pipe laying and permanent road reinstatement results in significant delays, adversely affecting road users due to insufficient temporary restoration. To address this, the RDA is proposing to have a memorandum of understanding with the CWA, whereby the RDA will undertake the permanent reinstatement works once pipe laying is fully completed and commissioned. The MOU will clearly define the respective responsibilities of both parties, including payment arrangements. A meeting is scheduled today with the Ministry of Energy and Public Utilities, CWA and RDA to discuss the draft MOU.
The Honourable Second Member for Kochi, Miniti Amuka.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. PQB 860, please.
Monsieur le Vice-président, avec votre permission, je répondrai ensemble aux questions B860 et B896, car ils portent sur la même question. Monsieur le Vice-président, je suis informé par la Central Water Authority que la Haute Nouvelle-Découverte et ses régions environnantes sont alimentées principalement par le réservoir d'Alma et le réservoir d'Alma-Île. La principale source d'eau provient de la station de traitement des eaux de la Marie et est complétée par 2 forages et 3 filtres à pression, les CFP. Les horaires d'alimentation dans ces localités sont intermittents. Auparavant, ils étaient biquotidiens, de 4 heures à 8 heures et de 16 heures à 20 heures, avec une pression réduite. Suite aux plaintes des consommateurs, une étude hydraulique a été menée par la Central Water Authority. Le programme d'alimentation a ensuite été optimisé pour 1 fois par semaine, soit de 1 heure à 8 heures. Pour Ripaille et la partie haute de Nouvelle-Découverte, de 13 heures à 20 heures, pour la partie basse de Nouvelle-Découverte, avec une pression adéquate. De plus, la CWA a renouvelé environ 1,6 km de tuyaux à Nouvelle-Découverte, couvrant Roussette Road, Chivala Road, Djoku Road l'année dernière, améliorant ainsi le service pour environ 200 abonnés. Monsieur le Vice-président, je tiens à ajouter qu'un nouveau réservoir de service de 3000 m3 à Alma est actuellement en cours de mise en service et devrait être opérationnel à compter de la fin d'octobre de cette année-ci, donc dans quelques jours. Il est prévu que les heures d'approvisionnement pourront ensuite être révisées. Monsieur le Vice-président, concernant le projet de forage et le nouveau forage, je suis informé que dans le cadre du programme national de mobilisation des eaux souterraines en cours, la Water Resources Commission de mon ministère réalise des levées géophysiques pour le développement de 20 nouveaux forages sur l'île, notamment dans les régions voisines de Dagotière, l'Espérance, quartier militaire, Alma. L'appel d'offres pour ces forages sur toute l'île devrait être lancé ce mois-ci.
Yes,
Is the Minister aware of the poor quality of pipe laying that was done at Shivala Road, please, and the lack of adequate pipes for the upper parts of Nouvelle-Découverte? I'm talking about the lower quality of the pipe laying that was done in Shivala Road. The pipes in Shivala Road, residents have complained that the pipe laying was of low quality. And we have one area of Nouvelle-Découverte where the pipes have not actually been laid by the CWA. Thank you.
Je voudrais dire à l'honorable membre que nous revoyons tout l'ensemble de la circonscription en ce qui concerne le Pipe Replacement Programme. Un nouveau plan va sortir incessamment. Nous attendons de finaliser avec la partie indienne parce que nous avons reçu 2,6 milliards de roupies du gouvernement indien pour un nouveau programme de Pipe Replacement Programme. Je peux assurer l'honorable membre et les autres membres de la circonscription que leurs demandes seront prises en compte dans ce nouveau plan pour la circonscription.
Okay, Honorable Venkateswamy, do you have a supplement? Your question has been answered. Okay, thank you. Honorable First Member for Montagne Blanche, don't give yourself, please.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Sir, B861.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the multi-purpose hall complex at Montagne Blanche was designed as a one-stop shop to bring key public services closer to the community. The project, valued at 30 million rupees, was scheduled to start on 29 January 2021 and was initially expected to be completed within 8 months, that is 240 days. The facility consists of a 2-level building with a total floor area of 1,600 meters square, including parking facilities, and was conceived to serve multiple functions. First, a reception hall with a centralized queuing system and a common waiting area for the public. A multipurpose hall with an accommodation capacity of 500 people. And third, flexible office spaces to host various public service providers. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the project was executed in phases under a multifunctional team. It was divided into 5 main components. First, supply of labor for the construction of the building up to a grade level stage. Second, supply of materials for the grade level structure. And third, demolition of the old village hall. Fourth, fixing of aluminum openings in the new building. And fifth, laying of tiles. To date, 24,769,000 has been disbursed out of the approved 30 million budget. I am tabling a detailed expenditure for each component, and several factors contributed to the delay in completing the multipurpose hall complex. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, it was only after my ministry intervened, drew the attention of the Council to treat all projects equitably, that the Council took decisive steps to accelerate progress at Montagne Blanche multipurpose complex. I am pleased to inform the House that the building structure has been completed up to grade level. Tiles works and the installation of aluminum openings have also been finalized. The project has now moved into the second phase, which covers interior works, plumbing, electrical, networking installation, false ceilings, partitions, installation and commissioning of a lift system, and the air conditioning system. Exterior works, we have waterproofing, painting, installation of inox handrail, outdoor gym facilities, landscape, upgrading of boundary walls and gates, touring of the parking yard and access roads. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, my ministry is closely monitoring progress to ensure that the remaining works are completed without further delay so that the people of Montagne Blanche and the surrounding communities can benefit from this much needed facility at the earliest possible time.
The Honourable Third Member for Portland-Field.
Mr. Speaker, B862.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. This is indeed a very interesting matter. I am informed that the Morcellement Le Hameau, because it is in fact a Morcellement, at least in name, was developed prior to August 2018, whereby a Morcellement permit was not required for bail à construction at that particular time. Now, later on, the Morcellement Act was amended through the Finance Miscellaneous Provisions Act of 2018 in order to address this. So the amendment came afterwards, whereas the development happened before the amendment. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the House may wish to be informed that according to the then Environment Protection Act of 2002, the Hameau project was not a scheduled undertaking requiring an environment impact assessment license. Consequently, no environment impact assessment license was issued for the said development, and I say again because the law as it stood then did not make it a precondition. With regards to part B1 of the question, I'm also informed that Le Hameau residential project forms part of the Smart City project, in respect of which a Smart City certificate was in fact issued on the 9th of November 2018. Now, as regards part B2, I am further informed that following a complaint regarding noise disturbance emanating from the operations of the ex-Beauplan sugar factory, namely the elevators and the weighbridge, the Ministry of Health then, that was before the elections of 2024, the Ministry of Health and Wellness carried out a noise survey and concluded that noise survey was within established range. But I was not communicated with a report of that survey that allegedly was carried out. However, I have also been informed that there was a survey that was carried out by a private party at around the same time. And that survey says exactly the contrary of what the Ministry of Health and Wellness says. The Ministry of Health and Wellness says the survey we carried out, there is no noise above the permissible level of 60 decibels, whereas the survey carried out by a private consultant shows that over a week or more, that the noise indeed goes almost to 80 decibels. So in the circumstances, I've understood, based on all the information that has been communicated to me, that the relevant ministries decided not to do anything following the complaints, precisely because they base themselves on the fact that allegedly the noise was not or was within the permissible level, without me having ever been communicated that report. I am also aware that, yes, this development was in fact marketed as a morcellement. This is the information that I have. So what I propose to do, just like I did earlier on for other members pertaining to land issues, is since this is a matter that does bring about some confusion with conflicting reports, and it concerns the value of land and it concerns the health of citizens living in a noisy environment, I propose to call the promoters, since there are certain issues pertaining to the Morcellement Act that seem to have been put aside, and I will ask my colleague, the Honourable Minister of Health, to join me in that, and the Minister of Environment, and to try to address this particular issue about the noise and to bring rectifications that are required. Thank you.
The Honourable Second Member for Portuguese.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Question B863, please.
We're stepping for the Ministry of Labour.
I am standing in, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, and with your permission, sir, I shall reply to this question. I am informed that this matter is already being given due consideration. Section 15 and 16 of the National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Act of 2016 makes provision for a National Crisis Committee to be chaired by the Secretary to Cabinet and head of the civil service in the event of disasters. Notwithstanding any other enactment in situations of torrential rain and climatic disasters, the National Crisis Committee may, to safeguard the life of any person, issue after consultation with the Prime Minister an order directing any person to remain indoors as long as it is unsafe to venture outside. Such order, when issued, applies for the whole population except for those engaged in emergency and essential services. Mr. Deputy Speaker, currently the public sector and the private sector each have their respective protocols to deal with heavy rain and torrential rain situations. These protocols are aligned with Section 16 and 17 of the relevant legislation, while recognizing the diverse nature and specificities of the public and private sectors. The protocol for heavy torrential rain and tropical storms or cyclones for the public sector serves as guidelines for ministries, departments, and public sector organizations in times of heavy rain, localized heavy rain, torrential rain, cyclone warnings in force in the Republic of Mauritius. It provides practical guidance on work arrangements in such cases with a view to ensuring the safety of employees as well as continuity of service delivery. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, allow me to refer to the Workers' Rights Act of 2019, which is of relevance. Section 32 of the Act, which deals with the payment of remuneration in other specific circumstances, provides, amongst others, that where during a period of extreme weather conditions, including but not limited to heavy rain, heavy or torrential rainfall, and it goes on to explain that subparagraph 1 and 2, which is an order is issued by the National Crisis Committee under Section 16 of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act, or a state of disaster is declared and any direction for the purpose of assisting and protecting the public is issued under Section 37 of the relevant legislation. An employer shall not require a worker to report to work or to continue to work where he is exposed to weather conditions, as the case may be. I shall not be that long, but allow me to add that, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, that during the Assises du Travail et de l'Emploi, organized from the 23rd to the 25th of September 25 by the Ministry of Labour and Industrial Relations, social partners, including representatives of workers and employers, agreed that the same regime should apply for the release of workers both in the private sector and the public sector in situation of torrential rain, and that there should be no disparity on this issue, insofar as personal safety, security, and threat to life are concerned. I understand that with a view to addressing the perception of continued discrimination between the public and private sectors when the country is facing torrential and climatic disasters, the Prime Minister's Office, together with the National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, the Mauritius Meteorological Services, and other key stakeholders are working closely with the private sector for the development and finalization of a combined national protocol for heavy and torrential rainfall, where safety of the population remains central, while ensuring continuity in emergency and essential services. Once this is finalized, once there is finalization of the national protocol for heavy and torrential rainfall, necessary amendments will be brought to the Workers' Rights Act of 2019, as may be required, with a view to ensuring that employees of both the private and public sectors are protected on a non-discriminatory basis.
The Honourable First Member for Holding.
B864.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regards Part A, I am informed by the NLTA that the protocols applicable in case of discrepancies found in the course of examination of motor vehicles in roadworks are covered in 5 points. They are quite lengthy. I'm going to table them.
Thank you.
As regards Part B, why? As regards Part B of the question, there is currently one vehicle examination centre in roadworks located within the premises of the mechanical workshop of the Commission of Infrastructure in Port Mature. This centre is manned by one vehicle examiner of the NLTA posted to roadworks on 2 of 1-year service. I had, in fact, the opportunity to personally visit the examination centre during my official mission to roadworks from 12 to 14th August 2025. I would like to emphasize that I was taken aback by the flimsy manner in which vehicles are examined in the island. The examination actually consists of a mere visual inspection of the vehicles, which is definitely not adequate to determine whether they are roadworthy or not. Furthermore, I observed that the examination pit belonging to the mechanical workshop, which is supposed to be used for examination of undercarriage of all vehicles, cannot be acceded by vehicles due to its height above ground level. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I have also personally observed that overall the process for obtaining roadworthiness certificates for motor vehicles in roadworks is quite cumbersome. In fact, vehicle owners have to call at the NLTA office at Belascar for the payment of the fitness test fee according to their vehicle category. Thereafter, the vehicle has to call at the vehicle examination centre in Port Mature. There, the vehicle is visually inspected by the vehicle examiner, and in the event of a favourable vehicle examination report is issued, the vehicle owner has to call back to an NLTA office in Belascar to collect the certificate of fitness. So, quite cumbersome. I had raised my concern with the Chief Commissioner of Roadworks during courtesy meeting I had with him in a bid to align with the procedures in place in mainland Mauritius for vehicle examination. I proposed that an expression of interest be launched by the NLTA for authorizing vehicle examination stations currently operating in Mauritius to extend their services to Rodrigues. The Chief Commissioner of Rodrigues welcomed the proposal and is even willing to put at the disposal of the vehicle examination station a plot of land outside of the center of Port Material for that purpose. I am informed that the NLTA has already initiated actions at its end for the implementation of the proposal with the assistance of the Chief Commissioner's Office, of course. Deputy Speaker, sir, as an ending note, as regards part B2 of the question, I am tabling the list outlining the number and categories of vehicles examined over the past 3 financial years. Thank you.
The Honourable State Member for Rodrigues.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir.
Honourable Minister, we've got only 2 minutes to go. Your answer is long. I see you have an iPad. Do you have a hard copy of your?
No.
But then you will have probably to
let me use the 2 minutes.
Use the 2 minutes. Then briefly you say what you have. Then
exactly.
Probably you look. But next time come with a hard copy.
I'll stay guided
of your answer so that we
after
can. After
2 minutes, I stop. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, at the very outset, I would like to congratulate the Education Commission of the Rodrigues Regional Assembly for the successful organization of Les Assises de l'Éducation on 26 and 27 May 2025, and thank all the stakeholders who contributed to make it successful. I thank the 4 MPs who attended same. I thank you for that. Now, I wish to inform the House that the consultations held in Rodrigues in May 2025 brought together a wide range of stakeholders, including Rodrigues Commission for Education, educators, unions, NGOs, parents, and so on. Deliberations were structured around 8 thematic areas, namely the student behavior, discipline, and well-being, curriculum and pedagogy, teacher training and capacity building, assessment and progression, TVET and skills development, technology and education, legal and regulatory framework, and youth voice. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, notwithstanding the current drafting process of the blueprint, I would like to enumerate some measures which have already been implemented or being currently implemented in the light of the consultations held. 1, psychosocial support has been reinforced through training in emotional intelligence for educators. 2, discussions are ongoing with MES and MIE to contextualize the curriculum, prioritizing agriculture, marine and blue economy subjects. Discussions are being held with MITD to expand TVET course and to increase enrollment capacity in Rodrigues. 4, career guidance sessions have been intensified to better align student choices with labor market opportunities. And 5th, opportunities for co-curricular activities for Rodrigues have been strengthened through the foundation program with the support of the MIE. If you need further information, I will always volunteer to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Time is over. Honourable members, the table has been advised that the following PQs have been withdrawn. B898, B895, B890, B881, B887, B888, B876, B893, B871, B872, B885, B894, B870, B884, B897, B880, B891, B874 again, B879, B867, B873, B889. Motion?
Motion.
Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I move that all the business on today's order paper be exempted from the provisions of paragraph 2 of Standing Order 10. Thank you.
Seconded? Yes, seconded. The question is that all the business of today's order paper be exempted from the provisions of paragraph 2 of Standing Order 10. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
Statements by ministers none. Public bills, first reading. Deputy Speaker,
Yes.
sir. I move that the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Institute of Public Service and Innovation Bill be read a first time.
Seconded.
Second reading.
Honorable Attorney General.
I move that the civil appeal, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm sorry. I move that the civil appeal bill number 21 of 2025 be read a second time.
Seconded.
So, Deputy Speaker, sir, this bill forms part of our ongoing effort to modernize the justice system, to make our laws simpler, clearer and more coherent. Following the Criminal Appeal and Criminal Review Act, which streamlined criminal procedures earlier this year, this bill now does the same for civil cases. The bill may look small if one stops at the number of pages it covers. However, a closer and more informed look at its provisions reveal that this bill is part of a bigger picture. It is part of the long and important process of rebuilding the system to make the processes simpler and less burdensome. We are still in the throes of addressing all the issues that need to be looked into to provide a better and more efficient system of justice. At present, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the rules governing civil appeals are dispersed across several statutes, namely the Court of Civil Appeal Act, the Courts Act, and the District and Intermediate Courts Civil Jurisdiction Act, amongst others. Each has developed separately, resulting in inconsistencies, overlapping provisions, and uncertainty for litigants. The result has also been confusion, procedural disputes, and unnecessary delay. This bill remedies the situation. It consolidates all civil appeal procedures into one coherent framework, replacing outdated enactments and standardizing the rules that apply when an appeal is made. First, to the Court of Civil Appeal from a final decision of the Supreme Court in its original jurisdiction, or second, to the Supreme Court in its appellate jurisdiction from the final decision of a subordinate court, such as the District Court, the Intermediate Court, the Industrial Court, the Master and Registrar, the Judging Chambers, or the Statutory Tribunal. Henceforth, all such appeals will follow the same process from start to finish. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, let me briefly guide the House through the principal provisions of this bill. Clauses 6 and 13 provide for a uniform procedure for the lodging and prosecution of appeals. Whichever court the appeal lies to, the Court of Civil Appeal or the Supreme Court, the same steps, time limits, and forms will apply. Clauses 9 and 15 empower both the Court of Civil Appeal and the Supreme Court in its appellate jurisdiction to determine questions of law referred to them by subordinate courts. This will allow for timely clarification of legal points that would otherwise create uncertainty at lower levels. Clause 18, introducing more realistic time limits for the filing of skeleton arguments and submissions. Appellants will now have to file their written submissions 30 days before the hearing rather than 45 days, whilst respondents will file theirs 15 days before rather than 30. These adjustments reflect the experience of both practitioners and judges and will make scheduling and deliberation more efficient. Clauses 19 to 23 harmonize the powers of both appellate courts. Previously, the Court of Civil Appeal and the Supreme Court did not enjoy the same authority when determining civil appeals, a technical anomaly that this bill now removes. Clause 3 introduces a simple but important safeguard. Every court, immediately after giving judgment, must notify each party in writing of their right to appeal. This ensures that access to justice is not hindered by lack of information, especially for litigants without legal representation. Clause 29 provides for consequential amendments to 6 statutes: the Courts Act, the District and Intermediate Court Civil Jurisdiction Act, the Environment and Land Use Appeal Tribunal Act, the Equal Opportunities Act, the Industrial Court Act, and the Sale of Immovable Property Act. The Court of Civil Appeal and its 1965 rules are repealed entirely making this bill the sole reference for civil appeals. However, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I will be proposing amendments at committee stage to this clause 29 of the bill, more specifically to amend the Court of Rodrigues Jurisdiction Act and the new Revenue Tribunal Act so as to align their procedures with this new legislation. Together, Mr. Deputy Speaker, these clauses establish a single, predictable system that applies uniformly across all levels of the judiciary. Civil appeals will henceforth be simpler, quicker, and less prone to procedural disputes. This will also reduce the burden on the courts by discouraging points of law being raised on unclear or overlapping provisions. The preparation of this bill, I must stress, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, has benefited from close consultation between my office, the Chief Justice, and the judges of the Supreme Court. It reflects their experience in the daily administration of appeals and their support for the creation of a unified and rational structure. This reform also sits within the wider context of judicial and legal reform already underway. In recent months, Parliament has enacted the Revenue Tribunal Act, the Legal Aid and Legal Assistance Act, and the Criminal Appeal and Review Act. Each of these bills now enacted have aimed at simplifying access to justice and restoring coherence to our legal framework. This civil appeal bill now furthers this goal for civil matters. The government is working to implement the various necessary changes for these different statutes just referred to, to all be proclaimed and enforced as from the 1st of January 2026. Again, proposing uniformity and clarity for all these changes. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, codification arises from the need to transform scattered, inconsistent rules into a single, rational body of law. From the Code Civil des Français of 1804 to the Field Code in the 19th century of America, codifiers sought not only to compile existing laws, but to impose coherence upon them, to replace fragmented statutes and judicial customs with a systematic and accessible structure. Historically, such efforts emerge when legal systems mature to a point where accumulation breeds confusion. The aim is twofold: compilation by gathering dispersed provisions into one reference text, and rationalization by simplifying, harmonizing, and removing contradictions. In modern procedural law, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, codification reflects the same spirit: efficiency through clarity. By standardizing appeal routes and timelines, a codified regime ensures equal treatment, predictability and ease of application. Ce n'est donc pas juste pour faire joli, mais plutôt la poursuite d'un idéal issu du siècle des Lumières, que la loi soit claire, connue et compréhensible pour tous. In practice, Mr. Deputy Speaker, these are not abstract measures. They affect real cases, real people, and real time saved in the delivery of judgments. The ultimate aim is to make the law not only fair in principle, but clear and efficient in operation. This is thus a practical reform, the product of broad consultation, careful drafting, and will obviously strengthen the administration of justice, bring clarity to practitioners and litigants alike, and reinforce public confidence in our courts. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I therefore commend this bill to the House.
Honourable Sibel.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. I rise today not as a humble backbencher, but as a firm believer in the continuing evolution of our justice system. Just a few weeks ago, this Assembly came together to pass the Criminal Appeal Bill, a decisive piece of legislation that marked a watershed in the rationalization of our criminal appeal process. It was an act of legislative courage, one that put consistency above complexity and the citizen above bureaucracy. And today, we are called upon to act again, to complete the other half of that equation through this civil appeal bill, which seeks to consolidate what has too long remained fragmented and unclear. For years now, civil appeals have been governed by a patchwork of statutes scattered across multiple pieces of legislation, resulting in uncertainty, delay, and confusion. Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir, I therefore rise in support of the Civil Appeal Bill that will be cited as a Civil Appeal Act 2025, which is a reaffirmation of our rule of law. The bill comes with a view to bring clarity, certainty, and uniformity in this area of the law. The bill will simplify and standardize the procedures for all appeal in civil matters under one deliberate and thoughtful consolidated legislation that will govern all civil appeal cases at all levels of our judiciary. Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir, under the current system, the civil appeals are governed by a scattered set of legislations, including the Court of Civil Appeal Act, the Court of Civil Appeal Rules 1965, the Courts Act, the District and Intermediate Courts Civil Jurisdiction Act, the Environment and Land Use Appeal Tribunal Act, the Equal Opportunities Act, the Industrial Courts Act, and the Sale of Immovable Property Act. This causes great uncertainty, as the Attorney General earlier said. Thus, the courts are operating under different routes of appeal, and this has left the people, especially the vulnerable ones, and the laypersons who wishes to challenge the decision of the court of first instance, often confused and disempowered. This lack of uniformity risks undermining the very principles upon which our justice system is built, including fairness, accessibility, and equal treatment under the law. Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir, this bill is a transformative step forward of how justice is administered in our country. The bill unifies the appeal rights of all appeal cases in civil matters that are from the final decision of the Supreme Court in the exercise of its original and appellate jurisdiction, and also from the final decision of the District Court, Intermediate Court, Industrial Court, the Master and Registrar, the Judge in Chambers, or a statutory tribunal. In doing so, the bill will strengthen legal certainty and will protect the rights of all parties involved in civil litigation and civil proceedings. Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir, the bill clearly imposes an obligation on any court to immediately, after it gives judgment in a civil matter, to notify any party to the case of his right to appeal. Part 1 of the bill deals with the preliminary matters, including the short title, interpretation, notification of the right to appeal. Part 2 of the bill outlines the composition, the jurisdiction, and the powers of the Court of Civil Appeal, and further outlines the procedures, the proceedings, and the notice required to resist appeal before the Court of Civil Appeal. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, a legal system should not only require a map to navigate, it should be a road clearly signposted, open to all who seek redress. Under Clause 4 of the bill, which provides that an appeal before the Supreme Court shall be heard by at least 2 judges, and further provides that the Chief Justice may, upon receipt of an application, direct more than 2 judges to hear the appeal having regard to the magnitude of the interests at stake or the importance of intricacy of the question of law and the importance of facts involved. Section 5 of the bill provides that the Court of Civil Appeal shall have unlimited jurisdiction and powers to hear and determine appeal in civil matters against final decision of the Supreme Court. Section 6, 7, and 8 of the bill deals with the procedures, leave required to appeal, and the notice to resist appeal to the Court of Civil Appeal. Section 9 of the bill provides that where a question of law arises at the hearing of any civil matter, and where the matter is referred to the Supreme Court upon application by any party where it is so determined, the Court will adjourn the matter until such question has been determined by the Supreme Court. Section 10 of the bill provides that the Supreme Court shall state the circumstances in which such question arose and direct such statement under Section 9 to be entered upon the record for the opinion of the Court of Civil Appeal. Section 11 and 12 of the bill deals with the composition, jurisdiction, and unlimited powers of the Supreme Court to hear and determine appeal in civil matters against the final decision of the subordinate court. Section 13 of the bill provides that a person who intends to appeal from the final decision of the Supreme Court shall, within 21 days after the date of the final decision of the subordinate court, give the written notice of appeal to the clerk, and shall, after service the notice, lodge the appeal within 14 days with the registry of the Supreme Court. Section 14 of the bill provides that a party may resist the appeal within 28 days, upon whom a notice is served, failing which that party may be deemed to have elected not to resist the appeal. Section 15 and 16 of the bill makes provision for the Supreme Court to postpone and determine any question of law referred by any party while hearing any civil matter by the subordinate courts. Section 17 and 18 of the bill deals with the stay of proceedings, service of skeleton arguments, and submissions on the grounds of appeal. Section 19 and 20 of the bill provides the general powers of the appellate court on the civil appeal to reverse, amend, and alter the decision of the subordinate court or order a new trial before a different constituted bench. Section 21 and 22 of the bill provides for the appellate court to deal with the issue of immaterial errors and frivolous appeals. And under Section 23, the appellate court is empowered to make such order as the case may require. Section 24 of the bill provides the general powers of the appellate court in determining the question of law referred by a party within 6 months, and for the subordinate court thereafter to give its final decision within 3 months. Section 25 and 26 of the bill makes provision to deal with application for the extension of time and the costs of appeal, and the bill further makes provision for the Chief Justice under Section 27 of the bill to make such rules as may be necessary. Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir, Section 28 of the bill makes provision to repeal the Court of Civil Appeal Act 1954 and further revoke the Court of Civil Appeal Rules 1965. And Section 30 of the bill makes provision for a fair application of the bill so as not to disrupt the current ongoing appeal matters. Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir, in summary, this bill before us today consolidates all existing civil appeal provisions into a coherent piece of legislation. It clarifies the grounds and timelines for civil appeal across all courts and further reinforces judiciary efficiency and legal predictability. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, in fact, any person who cannot easily understand the right to appeal or when the process to seek redress is unnecessarily complex or inconsistent, it is the integrity of our entire justice system that is called into question. Complexity and inconsistency outcome causes delays and uncertainty not only for the appellants and respondents, but also for the law professionals. It is unacceptable that in matters of such gravity, where the rights of our people are at stake, that our justice system would tolerate ambiguity in the process. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the bill ensures that once a final decision has been delivered by the Supreme Court or the subordinate court, the parties will have a clearly defined, legally consistent pathway for appeal that will ensure confidence and fairness. The bill further reinforces the constitutional rights of individuals under Section 10 of our Constitution, which guarantees a fair trial. The bill supports the independence of the judiciary by offering a clear and predictable framework for civil appeal and further protects the most vulnerable one. Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir, the bill also reflects our international obligation under human rights, instrument to which Mauritius is a party, including International Covenant on Civil and Political Right to simplify legislation for fair trials. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I would like to draw attention of this August Assembly to the inspiring words of the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Sri Ramakrishna Gavai, who recently in Mauritius during the Sir Maurice Roll Memorial Lecture on the rule of law in the largest democracy and in presence of a historical gathering of the legal professional and the high officials, he reminded the world that the rule of law is not a mechanical formula, but a moral and ethical compass that upholds equality, dignity, and fairness, that guides our courts and every organs of the state, and further emphasize that in a democracy, law must serve justice, and every statute must pass the test of fairness and constitutional morality. Hence, the bill does that. Mr. Speaker, sir, the judiciary, as we know, is a cornerstone of our democratic society. By simplifying civil appeals, we are reducing unnecessary delays. We are alleviating the burden of our courts, and we are ensuring that judicial time and resources are focused on the substance of justice. When I voted for the criminal appeal bill a few weeks ago, I did so because I believe in creating a justice system that speaks one language, not several dialects. It would be inconsistent and irresponsible for us as lawmakers to reform one arm of justice and neglect the other. Today, this House is being asked not only to pass legislation, but rather to reshape the very system of justice for our country. We are being asked to bring clarity in an area of law that is complex and confusing for our system and for our people. We are being asked to ensure that pathway to justice is a clear road that is accessible to all, regardless of status, age, or means. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, before I conclude, I would like to thank the Honorable Attorney General with his team, who is leaving no stone unturned to reshape our justice system. We are grateful to have his continued contribution to reinforce our rule of law, and this will go down in the history of Mauritius for many more years to come. By coming forward with this progressive piece of legislation, it will reshape our civil appeal cases, thus increasing public confidence in our institution. I therefore urge all members of this House to come together in support of this bill as custodians of justice and servants of the people, and deliver a framework that will serve all the people of Mauritius. We are sending a strong message to the people out there that we believe in a justice system that is transparent, fair, and equal for all. As the great Mahatma Gandhi says, injustice anywhere is threat to justice everywhere. Let us vote not just with our voices, but with our vision for a more just Mauritius. With these words, I commend the bill to the House.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, let me close this short but interesting debate by saying that this bill is, of course, a necessary piece of the puzzle we are slowly and painstakingly building to provide a better and more efficient justice system sooner than later. The next step will be the amendments to be brought to the Courts Act to simplify and streamline the procedure for judicial review. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am done. Thank you.
You commend the bill to the House?
That stands to reason, yes.
Yes. And it should be seconded? Seconded, yes.
Committee stage.
Yes, sorry. The question is that the Civil Appeal Bill, number 21 of 25, be read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Resume your seat, please.
Clause 1, short title. Clause 2, interpretation. Clause 3, notification of right of appeal. Clause 4, composition of Court of Civil Appeal. Clause 5, jurisdiction and powers of Court of Civil Appeal. Clause 6, procedure to appeal to Court of Civil Appeal. Clause 7, leave to appeal to Court of Civil Appeal. Clause 8, notice to resist appeal before Court of Civil Appeal. Clause 9, question of law before Court of Civil Appeal. Clause 10, statement of question reserved by Court of Civil Appeal. Clause 11, composition of Supreme Court. Clause 12, jurisdiction and powers of Supreme Court. Clause 13, procedure to appeal to Supreme Court. Clause 14, notice to resist appeal before Supreme Court.
The question is that clauses 1 to 14 stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 15, question of law before Supreme Court. Clause 16, statement of question reserved by Supreme Court. Clause 17, stay of proceedings. Clause 18, skeleton arguments and submissions. Clause 19, general powers of appellate court on appeal. Clause 20, new trial. Clause 21, immaterial errors. Clause 22, frivolous appeals. Clause 23, other determination of appellate courts on appeal. Clause 24, general powers of appellate courts and question of law. Clause 25, extension of time. Clause 26, costs of appeal. Clause 27, rules. Clause 28, repeal.
The question is that clauses 15 to 28 stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 29, consequential amendments.
Deputy Speaker, sir, I move that clause 29 be amended as per the amendment circulated.
The question is that clause 29 be amended as per amendments circulated. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that clauses 29 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 30, savings. Clause 31, commencement.
The question is that clauses 30 and 31 stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
Title and enacting clause.
The question is that the title and enacting clause stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that I do report to the House that the Civil Appeal Bill number 21 of 25 has passed the committee stage with amendment. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Be seated, please. Honourable members, I have to report to the House that the Civil Appeal Bill number 21 of 225 has passed the committee stage with amendments.
Third reading.
Deputy Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the Civil Appeal Bill number 21 of 2025 be read the third time and passed.
The question is that the Civil Appeal Bill number 21 of 2025 be read the third time and passed. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. I suspend the sitting for half an hour.